Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 826 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today once again by David Bray and Ben Askren. That's the duo for the week. We've got some more medalists. We've got some more semifinalists. More good stuff on the Team USA front. We got a couple more world champs. And we've got Ben. Ben,
what's up?
You've been watching some of the action we've been talking about a little bit.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I had a thought right before the show, and I wanted to save it. Now, obviously, we can get into the wrestling, but a few of my athletes yesterday were, have been watching a decent amount of this, and they're like, "Why do these dudes get so tired?" And for me, it's like, "Why don't they just train harder?" And for me, it's weird because I think, and maybe this is the past me, because I think this way, but like so many people like looked up to the Soviet training system, and how did they get so good? How did they get so good? And I kind of, for a while, I thought that, maybe it's happenstance. There's not really specific elevated training methods, that they just have been a bunch of good wrestlers in one place and they've been competing with each other and they got good that way, right? Because when you look at something like this, how tired some of these dudes get, and obviously they're still highly, highly skilled at wrestling. But getting in better shape it's not hard, Christian. It's not a secret. And the fact that the coaches can't get these dudes in better shape, and it's not one dude. These dudes across the board get so tired. I mean, Bennett Berge semifinal we were watching yesterday, right? A couple Mitchell's matches, the Ben Keeter match. It's on a very regular basis. These dudes get so tired they want to fall over. How can a coach not just say, "Hey, let's go another 10 minutes alive"? How about that? Like, how is this even possible? I can't fathom it. As a coach, if my dudes were getting that tired, I'd be like, "Hey, this is a simple fix. Let's do a little more live." Yeah. How can they not figure it out?
I don't know. Like, I think I would rather just be totally outclassed in like wrestling skill and ability than just falling over tired. Because at least in my mind, it's like, well, it's so much harder to be good at wrestling from a skill perspective than it is to be in base level shape. We're not looking for like,
cardio machines. We're not looking for cardio machines. We're just saying don't fall over.
Just don't fall over in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, Ben. In 3 minutes.
My kids couldn't grasp this. The kids are like, "Ben, why can't they get in better shape?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Guys, this isn't hard. Just wrestle a little more live. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know if they think like we're not allowed to go more live because it's going to be negative or something like that. And obviously, America's not the best wrestling country. We're getting very close to being the best. I mean, I don't think we're going to beat Iran here. But generally, there are a few other countries who are in good shape. Iran is generally in really good shape. They don't get all that tired. India is generally in really good shape. Also, generally don't get that tired. So there are a few countries who, like, I guess they figured it out. But there's a lot of countries where these dudes just fall over, and I have no answer. I don't know why they just don't wrestle a little more live. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, seemingly. And part of me is like, some of the guys that have gassed out, we've talked about in the past, were like, dude, there's something psychological, some sort of anxiety, some sort of thing that's like causing them to fatigue, because it almost seems impossible for a mildly athletic person to get tired that quickly, like a mental gas more than anything. And maybe it's that. Maybe they're
no, it can't be, because there's just too many of them. There's no way they all have a psychological issue. Well, Christian, how many matches did it happen in? As a percentage of U.S. matches, it was kind of a big number.
I wonder if part of it is the reputation of American wrestling is like they just go into it thinking, "Oh my gosh, these guys are going to get me tired." And it's probably intimidating to wrestle or just to compete against America in something in sport. And I also wonder like what kind of like mental coaching these guys are getting. Like if it's all pressure, all negative reinforcement, maybe they're just like freaking out and just like they have all this anxiety built into the match. Like that's something like that could make it like almost systemic, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a point there for sure. And then, but when I do watch, who I watch? Because I watched a few Mitchell's guys when I was scouting them, and I watched there's a guy he beat in the semis. I watched a few of his matches, and like he actually won in the last second of the Euro finals. But he was so tired the whole second period. And these guys, they kind of, since both of them aren't really in that good of shape, they kind of have, I don't know, an agreement to not go that hard. But then it would seem, if I'm one of the dudes and I'm in this close match, right? And I know the other guy's tired, I would be like, hey, if I just get in a little better shape, I'll be able to beat him easy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like skill
Mm-hmm.
level, we're kind of equal skill level, right? Him and I are the same.
Right.
If I just get in a little better shape, he's so tired, I'm gonna beat him easy.
Yes.
Like yeah. I mean, so it's not so it isn't just American because I've watched other matches where it's happened, and then like Bajrang has gassed a bunch of dudes out, and like I said, India and Iran seem to be the two other countries that are really genuinely in really good shape. Not
Yeah.
always, but the most part. I mean, obviously we've seen oh my gosh, Yaldani's fallen over, but there are
Yeah.
a lot of Iranians who get to an arc and push, and they wear dudes out.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder too if like you said, that about that Euro final where they have an agreement to not go that hard. I wonder if that's part of the problem when they do go live in the practice room too. It's like
they don't go hard. Yeah,
do more live, but okay, but if it's like not really, if live is not really live, how much does it help? Um,
yeah, that's true.
the other reason I feel like it's in a little bit sharper focus this year is that Russia's not in the mix. So like Team USA, we've
Yeah,
wrestled 34 matches, we're 24-10, zero Russians because they're not in the tournament. And so normally you would think we would have probably hit Russia between 5 and 10 times. Most
yeah,
weights we're gonna hit
for
them,
sure.
and then it's like those are off in the quarters or the semis or the finals. And so I don't think Russia is in like great shape, but it's not a reason they lose matches all that often. And so I do think percentage wise, like we're just seeing a little bit more than we would, and we're seeing it in
Yeah,
bigger, higher profile matches than we normally would too. Just a little more.
yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, as far as like going hard thing in the practice room, um, I mean that's there's something to be said, and I think for a while, America, and I've said this before, America was too like just cardio focused. And it does still happen in instances, and like learning how to actually wrestle is such a vital thing where sometimes people get so obsessed with just going hard they forget to like spend time learning to wrestle. But now sparring in America, I think, has become very, very commonplace, where I would say 10 to 12 years ago people it would not have been, right, not even close. So I think I think that's a good change we've made also.
From the chat, John Kozak. I wonder how much of it is systemic training, focusing more on technique through developmental years and then building conditioning later. Might actually hurt them in the short term, but help in the long term. Rely more on technique to
Conditioning
win than
point.
conditioning.
But I feel like there's a lot of the senior wrestlers that do maybe not as bad as these juniors are doing, but I feel like there are cardio issues. Um, and you said even some of the Russians get tired. Just some of them are positionally so sound. It is hard to put too much, like I said, July, hard to put too much pressure on him
Because they're so efficient.
because he's so efficient and fundamentally sound, and you put yourself at such a risk by opening up. But obviously, in the first Edge Live Snyder match, that was how he beat him, right? He got
Yeah,
him tired.
he did.
So, it has happened in big matches. I mean, Burroughs obviously has gotten some of them dudes super tired. So it's that, we talk about Taylor Yazdani. So there's definitely been those types of matches.
Yeah.
Taylor versus Yazdani in the Olympic finals. That was I mean, obviously it was a great technical attack, but it was a cardio issue also. Yazdani was definitely wearing down.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%. So why don't we talk about where we're at right now? Team
do it.
USA one on the women's side. Audrey Jimenez is in the semis. She looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Two techs, I believe. What makes her so exciting as a prospect is just how offensive she is, how fearless she is attacking legs. In both her matches, or her last one, she ended with like a go
Yeah,
behind to a lace. But her first match, she's just like, she must have taken 15, 20 shots, and like
yes.
she's either scoring or getting stalemated in general. So I mean, I think she's a really, really fun prospect. I'm looking forward to follow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her second match was a little more of a battle, a lot of hand fighting, and she wasn't getting to her attacks. I mean, she was staying there, she was battling, and she just wasn't finding any opportunities. Which is, I mean, that's good because actually sometimes people who shoot with a high volume will force attacks when they're not there, and that's obviously not a good thing, So I thought she was patient in her second match when the opportunities weren't there, and then once she got on top, she tech followed her, so it was good.
It's being at women's nationals the last couple of years, like you see the level continuing to get better and better, but so often as the growth or the depth of women's wrestling is continuing to build, these high level women are in mostly mismatches like throughout their careers, and I think sometimes that can lead people to anybody, no matter who you are, to go for a higher amplitude move, or like, oh man, it's a mismatch, I can do this other thing. But Audrey has been really consistently focused on like just consistent leg attacks, like basic single leg, get to things that are going to work at the highest level, no matter, regardless of opponent. And I think that is helping her a ton now when she's on this kind of a stage. Whereas some of the other women, even at the super high level in the US, they're so used to like going for something that's 4 points, but that maybe isn't going to translate real well when you get to a big match like this or a big tournament like this. Whereas Audrey's just like super focused, single leg, get to it, finish.
Her semi will be in 15 minutes, so we'll watch that live while we're doing the show.
And
Sorry, I got distracted and I'm watching this. I don't know why Buzaka is forcing them to challenge this last takedown.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It was two.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
Feels like.
So let's switch to that then, if we're going to talk about it. Because Buzaka's had this crazy 16-15 loss in his repechage match to Ukraine. And Ben's watching the conclusion now, where, I don't even know where to start.
I had to pause for a while. This last takedown, I don't know what he wants challenged. I think maybe thought he exposed, but the other guy exposed, but it wasn't. It's not even close. Not even. I mean, the guy doesn't even get close to 90. And then the guy gets what I think is a pretty clear takedown, and he forces them to challenge. I don't know why he wants this. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I think I just remain just totally fascinated by the Nick Buzakis trajectory. Like he looks so brilliant in some aspects, and sometimes you're like, how did you get yourself in this situation? I think he's a pretty clear candidate for a red shirt. I think it would be really good for him. Just like have a year in the room, develop, just get more of those feels like of wrestling grown men too, who can like physically challenge him, because what he brings for power is like it's insane. But there's just some feel things.
Yeah, and then on top of it being not controversial in my opinion, in 13-15, he has the only 4-point move.
I don't know if that's true.
He got thrown early.
He got forward like right away.
On the score chart, it has. I thought about it, and on the score chart, it has it as 2-2-2. On the score chart, if you look at it, it has. Well, I'm saying what the score chart says, which would have been what the scoreboard said, so they would have had to go back and protest or something. The score chart says only a 4-point for Buzakis. You can go look at it.
Are you looking at that on Arena?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not the official score.
That's how.
That's just someone watching, and
not
necessarily accurate.
I was gonna say because then a 2-point. Well, in this instance, but if they each had 1-4, and they each had 1-1, then a 2-point would have tied it up. Whereas if you give them another point from the protest, it doesn't tie. 2-point doesn't tie it up anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think he was going to be losing on criteria regardless.
Yeah.
He might have given up 2-4.
No. I'm saying. Wait, are you sure? I'm saying it was 13-15, and then he challenged. The challenge made it 13-16.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's 13-15 and he gets the 2-point takedown, I think he's winning.
But when it was 13-13, Buzakis scored his point last, and the other guy still had criteria. So, So I think if it would have been 15-15, it still would have been the same.
Score chart, so I can't trust you.
So he gets forward immediately.
Yeah,
I'm trying to read the score chart.
4-2.
All right.
2 Buzakis. Another 4. He got 4 twice.
Oh, that was why. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then it makes at least a little more sense.
Yeah.
But bad challenge still.
Yeah, he got taken right over.
Okay. So on the positive note, Jory Volk looked great. That was right after we went on the show. He won 3-2. He came out of nowhere to be a world champ this year.
Seriously. I mean,
Seriously.
is there an example? I mean, Mekhi Lewis did this
Yeah.
in 2018, I want to say. We could probably go to the Joey Volk.
He was already in college though at that point. He was
Yes. But I mean, I think he had redshirted. You know,
Yes.
it was definitely not a known commodity. He lost to Jeremiah Moody at the Open that year,
Mm-hmm.
and then made the team and won Junior Worlds.
Man, the
I was
takedown
actually
that he
sorry, go
gets
ahead,
here,
Bray.
the takedown that Volk gets in this world final is just I love all the adjustments he makes in here. It's super nice
Yeah, he had a battle for it big time.
between the legs. Harlem Globetrotters.
I was thinking about this team, not to get off the individuals, but it's 7 high schoolers and only 3 people have actually been in college. And then of those 3 people who have been in college, none of them have had collegiate success. You know, probably I believe they all redshirted. And I was thinking back to like last year's team, for example, just Keegan and Rocky came to the top of my head. They both had already All American at the NCAA. And I think usually you see both more college kids on the team and then college kids who maybe had some success. And this year there was 0.
Is Dayton the last guy that won this weight for us at Junior Worlds? I want to say
157.
Yeah. This is typically a really tough weight, full of a lot of really good guys. And even Dayton he didn't win his first time. I mean, he was such a known commodity when he won. I think he was bronze the year before. Like Jory still got a year of junior eligibility after this. It's really, really impressive. And he was not on the radar to make the team, and then he wins.
Yeah, I feel like the majority of this team has at least a year left. There's only a couple that don't.
Yeah. 65, 70, 74. Yeah. Facundo is probably his last year.
Facundo's probably out. And Cornella and Jackson Smith, I'm not sure about. But the other 7 should still have eligibility.
Yeah. So exciting for Jory and Wyoming wrestling fans.
He said in his post-match interview that he's ready to go right away. He doesn't know. Yeah, obviously he is, but I mean, even from like does he want to go right away? It sounds like he's open. He's open to it. I don't know if he's like has a preference, but he said he and Branch have had conversations about it. He's not sure what they're gonna do, but it's definitely on the table. So, I mean, this is a guy where the five varsity matches, like they're gonna want him as much as possible. I hope we see him at CKLV. See where he stacks up against a good bracket, and then from there, man, I really hope he goes right away.
Yes, I'm trying to think. I got an answer. So, on the 5 days thing, remember we had the question like, do 2-day tournaments count as 2 dates on the 5? Remember this question? Okay, so here's what it is. 2 of the 5 dates can be 2-day events. So you can do 2-day events, and they'd only count as 1. But if you add a third, you can do a third tournament, 2-day tournament, but it would count as 2 dates. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Got it. So you could do CKLV and Midlands, and that could be your 2. And then you could do 3 other dual meets or 1-day events, 1-day opens, whatever, and that would count as your 5. Or you could do what?
I'm just trying to think how many 2-day events are there?
Not that many.
There's not that many, right?
There's I think all the opens are 1 day now. I don't think any of them last 2 days. So it's like CKLV, even Reno's 1 day. CKLV, Midlands, Scuffle.
But Java's not going to do both of those.
Right. I mean, you could.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not. Maybe. What about collegiate national duels? I think that might have been 2 days last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you could do a dual tournament type of situation. That could be a scenario.
I don't know why you wouldn't just call a couple sets of duels one event then. Like,
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, if you're gonna schedule a couple duels back to back, like call it the dual open.
Singular event.
But Bonanza.
Yeah, the dual Bonanza.
This is not
Oh,
this isn't one event. This is a bonanza,
This
guys.
is a bonanza. You're gonna see. I bet you're gonna see pretty soon. Like, people gamed the extra matches thing. This is gonna get gamed. Why not?
Well, I just don't know what's the real, just for the few true freshmen you want to do 3 multi-day event. I don't see that
I don't know.
being a thing.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll see.
These coaches are pretty. They're pretty crafty.
Yeah. So that's so we could be seeing Jory and those types of events, and then play it by ear. I think that's what you'll probably see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see it out of a lot of guys. This will be awesome.
It'll be interesting.
What a great rule change!
It is so great. This could be so fun this year. Okay, so Volk wins. Keeter wins gold. 97 kilogram champion, dominated his guy. Got the pinfall there. We could probably show that as well.
Yeah, he's really good. Man, if he's really that good at football, as good as people are saying, I will be fascinated to see how much wrestling he actually does. I mean, we haven't seen anyone really do both sports at the same time for kind of a long while. And obviously, I don't think there's been a football player who's been on this level who's tried to do both. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah. This is when we need Bracky to give us the full rundown of
Call him up.
Of his prospects as a football
Heard he's
player.
a 5-star recruit, is what I've heard.
Oh my gosh,
That's not good.
There's not many of those. That's not
Really?
that's insane.
That's why I feel like the perception around Keeter as a wrestler has really changed this week, because for the longest time it was like, all right, well, this guy's really good, but how much will we see him if he's a football player? To now, it's a junior world champ. There are not a lot of those walking around, and he's absolutely a threat. I was talking to Andy Hamilton last night, and he's like, man, Keeter is getting in the conversation of potentially one of the best Iowa products to ever come out of the state. And think about who's come out of that state. Like, he's going to end up being a 4-timer that started as a freshman at 160 pounds and has won at that weight, and then progressively gotten bigger and just dominated throughout his career. Just as a wrestler alone, he's one of the best prospects out of one of the most tradition-rich states, and he's also got all these other sports where he's like one of the best in the state. It's
Did the play other sports, or is it just football? Because you guys keep saying other sports, but I haven't heard anything about football.
He's all state also in baseball and track.
Jeez Louise.
Last year after the Fargo finals, he jumped in the car and like his parents drove him through the night so that he could play baseball in his like state quarterfinal game or something. Like, the guy is, he's
Certified freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna have. I mean, how do you if you're a 5-star recruit going to Iowa to be a tight end where they've they've had success there as a program, you're looking at a potential NFL career. You've got to really freaking love wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know how you do both at a high level, which this guy's not going to want to be some, he's not going to want to do it halfway either way. I don't know how you go all the way for both. I know you can now, but like at like college football is a different sort of thing. College wrestling is a different sort of thing. How do you, and is there an example of this ever being melded into where
That's what
the athlete has success at both? Like, there's always like a conversation like, oh, will Adam Kuhn go out for the team, or will Mason Paris play football, or like Mako went out for the team, but like it never happened for both. Like in a
Mako
real
went
way.
out for the team after his college wrestling career.
Yes. So I don't know.
This article I'm reading right now says he's a high 4-star who has a chance of becoming a 5-star.
Okay.
So if he has another fantastic year and keeps improving the way he did, he'll be a 5-star linebacker.
Oh, I thought it was his tight end skills that he was.
He has everything you look for in a linebacker. The only problem is he plays in Iowa.
What does that mean?
I don't think he
Probably means he's not very good at football or something. I don't know.
Oh.
This is from Tom Lemming, who I guess is he's a really important recruiter or something like that. It also said when you commit early, it cuts down on your star power. That's kind of interesting because obviously in wrestling it doesn't happen, but wrestling, I guess, football is interesting because in wrestling it's simple. You get to see the dudes wrestle each other, so you know who's better. In football, to the linebacker in Iowa, how are you going to compare them to a linebacker in California? It's kind of impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, not a 5-star. There's very few of those.
Well, this is from May of this year.
Veteran recruiting analyst. Yeah, we're probably looking at the same article. Hawk Fanatic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I thought he was a tight end. Well, I don't know. I don't follow college football or high school football.
Jeez.
Yeah. Who knows what he's gonna do?
I mean, the word on the street for Junior Worlds is that he practiced 6 times, like between the trials. And
I heard
this
that
and,
from someone.
What?
Also.
Yeah, and so like if it's like
You
well,
said it yesterday, Christian, didn't you?
Yeah, but
we were talking about it yesterday. But it's like if the question is how does he go all in, it's like, well, right now he doesn't really have to, and he's a Junior World champ. Like he's not. He's when it comes to competing and when it comes to like being all in competition, and like I don't know, but he doesn't have to right now.
Hold on, what's he been doing then?
Who's the other huge kid at this weight class that I want to see him battle?
I guess it is August.
What, Ben?
Who's the other really big kid at this weight that's good? He's from Indiana kid,
Christian
right?
Carroll. He's on the Greco team here.
Have these dudes battled?
Not since Fargo last year. They met in the Fargo finals. Carroll beat him, and that's a match that we really wanted at Who's Number One. Ben Keeter talked about it in his interview with JD. He talked to his football coach about it, and his football coach was like, hey, go be number one, go figure it out. But he talked to Coach Brands, and Coach Brands was like, well, it's football season, just focus on football. It's like Iowa City versus Ames High football game, so it's like a rivalry game.
It's a big one.
Yeah, so it's a rivalry game or whatever. So that's where he's at right now. But that would obviously be about as big a match as you can make in high school wrestling right now.
Dang.
So hopefully we'll get to see it again soon. I know both those guys want that match.
Yeah, they probably don't. Iowa City, I feel like, doesn't really travel that much during the season, so it may be hard to find somewhere that they'll both be at, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make it happen,
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'd be awesome.
We'll see.
Okay, so good job, Ben Keeter. We already talked about the Bouzakis. Man, this Nick Feldman, the guy, the Iranian. Did you watch this match, Ben?
We watched this live. We watched it together.
Oh, that's right.
I'm offended.
You blocked it out of your mind.
I did. I literally thought I blacked out. That was so bad. I mean, you
it
can't
was
even
a
be
beatdown.
mad at like Nick. It's like, man.
The scoring highlight condenses into 39 seconds, and it's a tough 39 seconds to watch.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
Not a deal.
Until Feldman fully grows into the weight, these kind of heavies are going to give him.
I don't know. I was looking at him, and it's like sometimes when you say fill in, you see a guy who has big hands and big shoulders, and they're kind of gangly. And Feldman, it kind of feels like he's already like big and strong and filled out a little bit. I mean, I don't feel like he's gonna grow that much more. I mean, Kyle Snyder won NCAA titles at 225 pounds, 230 pounds. It's doable.
Yeah.
But man, do I see Feldman getting 30 pounds bigger? No, not really.
No, but he could gain, maybe 5-10 more pounds, but get way stronger in the process,
Get
right?
way stronger.
Get in a college room. Just do bicep curls with Bo Jordan.
Yeah.
That would
The
get you
other
on your way.
thing, kind of like you, I mean, I think you just said this about maybe Bray said it about Bouzakis. When you're not in a lot of competitive matches, when you're just so much better than someone, you're used to just steamrolling them, and you don't have to have tactics to like slow down the match. And so, for example, when we watched this match together, I kept saying, if he just freaking like grabs his wrists, and he never made contact with the wrist, but if he just grabs the wrist, he's going to shut down the under. This is what I did to Quentin Wright. Right, I know Quentin Wright's gonna try to underhook me, so I'm just gonna grab his wrist, and then he can't do it. It's pretty simple. But they've never had to use that tactic against a bigger man, because he's usually just so much better than people, so he doesn't develop those things. So maybe this year in college he can develop certain tactics when he's overmatched initially. Grab a wrist, pull on him. There's a few other things. The toe step high single is elite for wrestling a bigger guy. Maybe will call you, but most likely they will not. Great move for big guys because they can't sprawl on you.
Yes, indeed. All right, some talk about some other wrestlers who played football well. Carlton Hasselrig, literally one of the greatest heavyweight wrestlers collegiate history, played for the Steelers.
He
Stephen
played,
Neal.
so he played college football also, but he was at a D2 college program.
Yes.
Pitt Johnstown.
By the way, Audrey Jimenez is up on Matt number C. Matt number C. Letter C.
Wow.
So,
Right. There it was. Come back.
Wait, what? Oh, I'm going to
Um,
click over there also. Uh-oh, she's losing.
okay, down just 1-0.
it's all right.
Okay. And she gave a 2-0. She
Where's
gave up a
Audrey
caution.
Jimenez from, guys?
Arizona, Sunnyside.
Oh,
Roman Bravo Young's high school.
nice.
So
Yep.
Stephen Neal, am I remembering correctly, or did he not play football
He
until
never played football. Never played football.
This dude was all pro, never did the sport
No.
until college. What a monster!
Until
No,
after
he didn't play.
college.
He
So
didn't
after
play in
college, yeah.
He didn't.
Man.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This is
Yeah.
this is a strong opponent
Mm-hmm.
from Poland. So right now in the short offense, but Audrey fights out of it, comes up with underhook. Good job. She's only down 2, and it's a pair of ones at that. So be all right. Got to get out of these control ties. Josh Hokett in the NFL, as John Veal pointed out. Yep.
There you go.
I kind of
And
forgot
he was
he's
All-American
in
wrestling.
NFL. I knew he was like getting looks.
Is
Yeah.
he still playing?
Yeah, I don't know. Josh Hokett, football player. I think he's on the Niners.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like he's a
There you
free
go.
agent though.
Well, he made the NFL.
no.
Oh
no, don't get pinned,
no,
don't get
it's
pinned.
not good.
Dang it.
Oh jeez.
We're in trouble.
We
Oh,
are
we
in
got off our
trouble.
back. It's only 2. So we're only down 4.
These-
And I keep saying
These
we're
Polish women are tough. They got a lot of tough women in the UFC. Are they good at women's wrestling, or am I?
They're certainly
singular
strong.
one?
This is a strong young lady.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks really big for the weight.
While we're talking through this team race, it's looking a little more bleak than it was this
not
time
good.
Yesterday. We're
Not
down
good at all.
8, but our max total is significantly less. We need Iran to lose a lot of their medal matches.
Yep.
We got to win a lot of ours.
Yeah.
Ooh, Audrey in deep on a single,
There we
coming
go.
out the back door. Got to beat this far ankle. Classic Polish far ankle scramble. We've seen this. Oh, we could have her in some
she's
trouble.
gonna get her.
Pin
She's getting her
She's
here.
gonna pin her here.
Oh yeah.
Look,
she's gonna
look.
get her.
She's done.
Yes.
At the fall. At the
Pin,
fall.
baby.
Hey!
All right.
There we go. Into the finals.
Let's go.
You can
There
see
you go.
Tony Leon's her coach in the back. He was RBY's coach too. He's going nuts.
Man, that's awesome. So she's in the finals.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. She wrestled at U17 Worlds and just like it just looked off. Like I don't know if it was a weight cut that went wrong or just what, but she didn't look. She lost her first match and just looked like not herself. But you know, I think she'll probably take being in the Junior World Finals over
Heck yeah.
U17.
Oh,
Medal.
she was still U17 eligible this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she made both teams. Yep.
Yeah.
Classic.
Impressive.
Very impressive. Good job, Audrey. That's exciting. Okay, so
Dang. Japan has all their girls in the semifinals.
oh my gosh. That
What
doesn't
in the
sound
world?
right.
Hey, team race. We're actually down. We're down 12. So
Oh yeah.
we need to win every match, and we need Iran to lose every match.
Okay, that's not good.
Yep.
'Cause
Yes.
what I've yeah.
Japan has 5 weights. They have 4 in the semis, and 1's already made the finals.
Okay. And I think only 4 weights have gone today, right?
No,
Well,
5.
this is- it's
5.
five,
There's
but
5. They have
they're
4
just-
semis and 1 in the finals.
Yeah, they
Oh, I see
have
what you're
not
saying.
lost a match. They have also won every match.
Okay.
Jeez
Well,
Louise.
They're really good. They're really good. Okay, so we're probably not going to win on the junior side, but still a valiant effort from a really young team on the men's side, so that's okay. It's unfortunate that Russia's not here and we couldn't win, but man, really young squad and a lot more wrestling to be done. I mean, it's crazy that Keeter has another year of high school.
Yeah.
Monster.
And then on the women's side, you know, Audrey Jimenez is the one on the front side, and I don't think anybody's actually getting pulled back in or has the ability to get pulled back in. Could be one of them, but not great. But the girls that are going tomorrow, I think we're pretty optimistic about Katie Gomez, U17 world champ, and then Amita Lore is, she's won at a couple different age levels. So
Yeah.
those are a couple women that I think we're pretty excited about, and then obviously the rest of the team should do well too.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so that was cool.
We didn't talk about Mitchell yet. That was a really disappointing final, and I was thinking about this. I don't want to critique his performance too much because I haven't been able to talk at length with him yet. We texted back and forth, so I'm gonna save that till if you remind me next week, I will talk about it. But I don't want to be here on radio first before I talk to him face to face.
Yeah. There were a couple. If you haven't watched, it just bad start to the match, and just like it really seemed. If you watch that match, you're like, man, he's clearly right there with this guy, and probably in a different circumstance could beat him. Got down 6-0, and the number of like times I felt like he was close to a takedown or close to scores and ended up with nothing was so many. Like he would get in deep on a shot, and the guy would just like
so good with his like shin whizzer, limp leg, those type of
limp
positions.
leg.
He was, really good.
Like in really deep, and the guy just like basically what looks like he's just turning around, and then Mitchell like doesn't have the leg anymore. It was really strange. I'm sure probably a feel that I would imagine Mitchell hadn't had before because it was really unique the way he was getting out. But man, still a heck of a run by him. Is this his last year of juniors? Probably.
Nope. No,
one more year?
Yeah. I mean, generally, unless, unless someone does a double holdback, they're going to have a year in college. And if they're younger, they're going to have 2 years of college of junior eligibility. So it's pretty rare that someone would not have junior eligibility once they go to college. So he'll have 1 year left.
Cool.
Yeah.
If the plan is for him to stay in redshirt, I would love to know. I'm not familiar enough with Cal Baptist schedule to know like some of the big places we may see him. Do you know, Ben, where like some of the tournaments?
I know they went to Reno and Vegas last year. I don't know where else, but I think those would be two really good ones. But then like I said, I'll probably recommend to him. I have already that he goes international a few times, so he gets these. To your point, I can't give him the feel that guy gave him yesterday. Then there's not a lot of people who are that good with those type of hip flexibility and knee flexibility. Like you got to go get those feels. So go international and get those feels a few times. It's important.
Why don't we have that over here?
Maybe it's because the lack of emphasis on sparring or something. I mean, the other one I think about just from what happens in matches. This wouldn't be in practice, but obviously what happens in matches that affects practice is they call those situations potentially dangerous so freaking fast, like way before the knee or hip is ever in danger, that it's like almost not worth being good at, because if you're good at it, they're just gonna call it potentially dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Whereas international level, it's significantly more rare. They did, I think, one time yesterday maybe call it potentially dangerous, but in America, if the knee is even moving slightly outside the hip joint, for almost all kids, it's not really an issue for the really, really high majority of them. But they'll call it potentially. I mean, even think about when someone's trying to shelf a leg, they call that potentially dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not potentially. You can't get hurt, and if you were to feel a little bit of pain, you would just kind of turn down and open your hip, and then you'd obviously be in a worse wrestling position, but you would not be in pain anymore, So I think that probably would be a big reason as to why, it's not as popular.
Yeah. And I think we are like, not just with the knee stuff, but like, just like the kick outs and like limp leg stuff is where I feel like, man, you just don't see that a lot of it domestically. I think where you are seeing a little bit more is like, I think we are getting a little more proficient at like kick outs and stuff. Like Dayton is like amazing there. So maybe
there's been a few limp leg guys like Kerry Collette, obviously, it was really good there. Corey Cooperman had some really tricky stuff there. So there's been like some guys. Marsteller, I feel like, is pretty darn good there. There's some guys. It's just it's not something we see a lot of.
Yeah. But still a great performance. I'm sure when he looks back on it, he won't be happy, but he should be pretty satisfied with his performance. Do we want to get to a couple questions or any other Junior World stuff? Like what's coming up? Yeah, tee up what's coming up this next session, I guess.
All right, so next session we have medal matches, and I mean it's got to go perfect for Team USA. So that's not completely out of the question, but unlikely that we're going to win there. We have 3 guys going for medals at the 3 upper weights. So we've got Bennett Berge, he's wrestling for gold, and then a couple guys wrestling for bronze. Jackson Smith, who won a rabechage match this morning to make into that bronze match, and then Nick Feldman will also wrestle for bronze. So we still have the opportunity to bring back a bunch of medals today, 3 more by going 3-0. The other medal match I don't think we talked about yet is that Vince Cornella match from yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch that one, Ben?
I did not. I just put it on my computer, but I haven't watched all the way through it.
It was it was a couple situations that were really close back and forth, and the match actually ended with a challenge, and the way they called it on the mat. Cornella won, and then they went back and reviewed it, and he ended up losing 6-6 on criteria. So that was a little bit heartbreaking.
What did you think? Do you think it was the right call or the wrong call?
I thought that Cornella should have had a takedown earlier, and then I thought when the points they gave to Japan after they reversed the call were right, but I think they missed a takedown earlier. But it was one of those really interesting situations where Cornella basically pulls the Japanese opponent into he's seated. And whether there's a takedown or not, it's not clear. The camera angle didn't help either. But then Cornella gets a trap arm, gets the exposure, so they give him 2 there. And then the Japanese opponent grabs that arm, is able to expose Cornella.
I wasn't mad at the call. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, and we've got it right here.
Yeah, they go 2, and 1 is the official call. Yeah, I mean that is a position where can we pause 1 second, guys? Just say one thing. Oh, wait, that's early.
This is we're starting from the beginning, so we'll get to that.
Yeah, no, there's just some man. Sometimes what match was I watching this morning? I think it was Audrey Jimenez match, maybe. Where sometimes if they're on one leg and the opponent hits their butt, they call 2 so fast. Or I was complaining about that Mitchell match where they call 2 so fast, but this, something like this where he's seated behind him and they won't call 2 because I think what you're saying, Bray, is you could have seen a 2 for Cornella and then another 2 for the turn, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And yeah, I see that. I see what you're saying there because it's like he was locked hands behind him and they're both sitting.
This one right here, they give Japan a takedown for this when Cornella still has this leg hook. They had given him that 2 already, which I don't understand that call either.
Yeah, so it feels like I mean, and if you read the EWW rulebook, I feel like the takedown is not super clearly defined. There's definitely some ambiguity there. So
here's
they can make that a little more
the
clear.
Scenario.
Yep, this is it.
So the reason I don't know if it's so his legs in between.
But now his butt's
on
the mat.
Right there where his butt's on the mat, that's where I would say. And then he gets exposure. So I see your argument for sure where he could be. His butt was definitely on the mat. It could go 2 and his butt's on the mat and he's fully chest on back, which is fully behind the person.
Yeah. So to me it's 7-4. Then Japan reaches back, gets the exposure. I think it's 7-6, but
and then he gets back on top, so it would end.
Oh yeah, 8-6. Yep.
Yeah, definitely a goofy, tough call to make. All right, let's go to some questions. We didn't say. I was just wanting to say who's wrestling in medal matches. We got Jackson Smith going for medal match,
and then Feldman's going for bronze.
Yeah.
Berge for gold.
Yes. So tune in. What time for that?
That's going to start in just under an hour.
10 a.m.,
so 10
right?
o'clock Central.
I really loved yesterday. I remember last year they were running only a singular mat for the medal matches, and it would take forever. And they actually ran 2 matches yesterday. It was so much better.
It's nice.
Yes.
Okay, some questions. I don't know if this is on the table, but I'm going to ask it. If Ridge Lovett goes 141 this coming season, is he the favorite to win it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going 141?
That's what I don't know. But it was the question from Dark Killer 175.
Okay.
Which
we don't want to ask that question.
I don't know if that's actual Cannibals secondary, less vicious Twitter handle, but either way, we haven't heard from an actual Cannibal in a while, which makes me think we should probably check the. Yeah, he could be in jail.
Maybe he got sick. Maybe he got into some bad human flesh.
It could have happened.
Oh God.
It could be spoiled flesh. I think Man, I don't know if it's in the. I don't know if it's on the table for Ridge to go 41. I don't know what that would do for their lineup either.
Who was their 141? It was Chad Red last year.
Yes.
So
I
he's
don't
out.
know.
Put him at 41. Let's go.
This is a guy who's wrestled 70 kilos. Like, I don't know.
He may have just outgrown it. He may have just been like.
He did wrestle 133 though.
I know.
That's true.
He did. And then he went up 2 weights. That was so weird that year because remember, we didn't even think he was going to wrestle that year. And then he made the Big Ten finals when he beat Murin at 149.
Yeah.
Then the next year he's at the finals. Yeah, I don't see him going down personally. But if he did, I think you would have to say he's the favorite right now, which is what he did last year. Gave Yanni his toughest match. So, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, there's a question on here that I want to ask because I don't know the answer. And I was put off a little bit because I'm like, damn it, why is Mitchell still at 19 on the big board? And then I realized the big board was the one thing you guys did not update since June. And so, but it's why isn't Ben Keeter on here? And maybe because he lost to Christian Carroll, I guess, last year is what you're saying, but I don't really know.
I mean, so Ben Keeter, he beat Christian Carroll. Or sorry, he lost to Christian Carroll last year in Fargo. And then his wins, domestically are like Martin Cosgrove, who's good, but not super, top of the list. Noah Pettigrew. Noah Pettigrew was like really the one ranked opponent he had both at the Open and the trials. And so he beat him 3 times. Those just,
I actually was not impressed with Noah Pettigrew. I watched one of those matches, and I think if I remember correctly, Keeter kind of gave him the beat down.
Yeah, and it's another. I mean, he's another guy who's good, but it's just like I don't know. In those upper weights, he just hasn't had the volume of like tons and tons and tons of ranked wins. He did beat Gavin Nelson. That's a really good win.
So I'm sure you guys are going to put him way higher now, right? He won a junior world title.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure. Especially when when the class comes out and it's 2023 people in there, for sure. He'll be way up.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Ozzy Man Strong Boy update. Is his stomach feeling better?
Yeah, he's good. You know what he did yesterday? I was at the wrestling academy coaching, and he was like playing around or something, and then he came in with the shirt off. He's, Dad, if you take your shirt off, it makes you stronger. Take your shirt off right now. And I'm like, that's funny, but no.
He's also right. He's right.
He's right?
Yeah, he's right. Oh, for sure.
Take your shirt off then, Christian. Let's go.
Hey, listen. Yeah, maybe I will. Yeah, the real Avery Lynch wanted to know Caleb and Ozzy's walkout songs.
I know what Ozzy's is for sure.
What?
And it's super. So hopefully we play this maybe when he's getting married. It'll be super embarrassing. He loves this song that's on Transformers called "The Touch." It's such an embarrassing '80s song. I think it's called "You've Got the Touch." Is that what it's called? Because he always grabs the Alexa. My kids fight over the Alexa, and they say play whatever. I think it's called "You Got the Touch" from Transformers. He freaking loves it.
I don't know what Caleb's would be.
Yep. You've Got the Touch by Stan Bush. That's what it is, for sure.
Stan Bush.
I wish Shane was here right now.
Yeah. Stan Bush.
Hey, where is Shane? It's Wednesday.
I know.
We still haven't got to ask him about Roadhouse.
He couldn't come on.
What's his problem?
I don't know.
I'm going to text and tell him to stop ducking us.
He's not ducking.
He's ducking.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think so.
What, you don't know Caleb's walkout song? He's got to have one.
I mean, I don't know what it would be, honestly. Like, he does not like music very much. He doesn't like listening to it. The only songs he listens to are, like, joke songs. Like, there's this this chicken wing song. It's like, I don't know.
Oh, my God. There's some funny ones. There's one called Pancake Robot that my daughters like.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Have you ever heard The Big Mean Kitty? Another joke song.
I don't know that song.
Huh.
They all love that. That was actually, so there's not like a lot of songs where they can all like kind of get behind, where they don't battle over the Alexa. But Big Mean Kitty, that was a good one for a little bit where they didn't fight. They're all like, yeah, Big Mean Kitty.
Yeah, I could see him coming out to this chicken wing song. It's like chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken macaroni, chilling with my
I never
homies.
heard that one.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, walk on out. That's
me
good.
Me either. But
I
it's real.
also had an update for you guys on Roadhouse.
Okay.
So my good friend Cody Crocker, who wrestled with me for a little bit at Mizzou, he sent me this. He said, I heard you talking about the movie Roadhouse at FRL. The setting for the movie was Jasper, Missouri, which is about 40 miles from where I grew up. My dad told me he played honky tonks like the one in Roadhouse that had chicken wire around the stage to keep the band from getting involved in fights and having shit thrown at them in the late 70s. Apparently, places like this really did exist.
Wow.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
It's legendary.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
It's good to know.
Oh
now.
my
It's
God.
basically
Come
a
on.
documentary.
Take time off work today and go watch Roadhouse. This is a work
if only.
assignment, Christian Piles. We need your take on FRL tomorrow.
All right. I don't know if I'll have it tomorrow. I really want to do it with have the breakdown with Shane. But
Oh my God,
yes,
I do too.
'cause
I want
I'm
it so
sure
bad.
I won't like the movie or like just think it's ridiculous, and he'll think it's the
It's
coolest
so
thing.
ridiculous.
I bet he loves Bloodsport a lot too. Probably
Oh,
think
also ridiculous. Great movie.
Yeah, we should just have. Honestly, we should have like an '80s movie a week with Shane that we talk about.
Oh my God, that'd be so much fun.
Have you seen Commando with Arnold?
I don't remember that one.
He's got so many hilarious one-liners in that one. It's amazing. It's like peak Arnold, height of his powers. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sad. Haven't seen that one.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's call it.
That's
call a
it.
show.
You're giving
That's
up
it.
already? Take your shirt off already, so you're strong like Ozzy said.
And yeah, maybe one of these shows I'll disrobe. Until then, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with David and Ben, and hopefully some more Junior World Champions and accolades to discuss. Until then, have a great Wednesday. See you next time. Goodbye.